Hello everybody and welcome to ESO Weekly for October the 18th. Here on the ShoddyCast channel, I am Kyle, and with me as always, my dear, loving, darling brother Josh. How you doing?
I've never shown love never.
That's true.
In my life.
You're very spiteful.
That's very inaccurate. I don't appreciate that. This cast sucks. It lies.
Wow, that's mean. That's harsh. Anyways, let's just start off right off the bat by telling you guys that we have decided to shift things around a little bit, and ESO Weekly after today will be on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Yes. So next week, just be prepared to see us with a new video on Wednesdays, and every week after that. We will also, when we come back, I believe we're making our lore videos. Have we decided, is it going to be Friday?
Yep, those lore videos are going to be on Fridays now instead of Saturdays. So we're pushing the shows all earlier in the week to, give people more time to watch them. So,
alrighty, so look out for that. This week we are going to cover the brand new character creation video that just came out today. Well, I guess it would be yesterday for you all. And of course we are going to recap our exclusive interview with Nick Konkle.
Exclusive.
Yeah, yes. He talked about a bunch of stuff, and we got a bunch of new information, like on the guild stores, how they're going to do their post-launch content, and even little tidbits on the justice system and what we might be able to expect.
I'm looking forward to actually talking about the interview, because at the time, we have a limited time to actually interview him. You know, they gave us an hour, and so we're just trying to pump out the questions, squeeze as much information out of them, and then save the discussion for today's episode.
Exactly. And since we are going to be pretty packed full of information this week, we are not going to be covering the sorcerer skill lines, so we will save that for next Wednesday. So let's dive on into it, starting off with the character creation video.
Hi, I'm Jared Carr, the art director for The Elder Scrolls Online. Going into this, we really made a conscious choice that we wanted our character creation system to be very robust. We knew we would have to provide the options that players would expect from an Elder Scrolls game. So it had to be a thorough system with lots of customization options. For the body, we wanted players to really define their physique. So you can create an overweight character or a skinny character. You can adjust the height no matter what race you are. There's lots of tattoo options for both the body and the face separately. And then we even let you get really specific, adjusting the width of the shoulders, the thickness of the arms, the size of the hands, for example. We really wanted to give the players a lot to play with. We have a dedicated team of character artists who have spent a considerable amount of time and energy developing this for the players because we understand how important it is. And I think you can really see that dedication when you create a character. And of course we wanted to do the same for faces. It's something very personal for a lot of players, and we wanted to give them all the hairstyles, adornments, and facial adjustments that we could. I think we really managed to get quite a bit of variety in there.
So what'd you think?
I thought, the whole idea, characters are still up for debate, whether or not the character models look good. People are still debating about that online all the time.
And that's preference.
And that is preference, but no one, absolutely no one can argue the fact that this game has a massive, absolutely massive amount of customization, more than you ever saw in games like Oblivion, in Skyrim.
Even with mods.
Even with mods, it was like, okay, skinny character or buff character. Scrawny guy that has never lifted a weight in his life, or the guy that spends all his time at the gym. That was pretty much the body options. Here we're seeing what was that triangle we kind of saw from Rift, where you can do like it has on one side fat, skinny, and then what is
like
it,
muscular
heroic or
whatever.
muscular or something like that. Yeah, so man, I'm just geeking out over the amount of customization because, and you saw them flying through that video customizing those characters. I'm prepared to spend at least a good like hour in there on the day of launch, maybe more, just getting my character exactly the way I want them. And a lot of sliders. And
just those triangle sliders. I don't think people understand how many options are just there.
Just in the triangle slider
It's
alone.
not like 3, no. It's those 3 and then everything in between those.
Yeah.
Like
it's
a blend.
Gonna be where in most MMOs, because that's the thing about MMOs and why this is such a big thing for this game. Majority of them, not all of them. I have played MMOs with a lot of customization, Rift being one of them. But a lot of them will have, for instance, Star Wars: The Old Republic actually failed terribly on this, where I think you had 9 face options.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Very terrible.
It was really bad because not only do you have those 9 face options, but every NPC in the world, every quest giver also only has access to those 9 faces. So you're constantly running into clones of yourself. I remember talking to a quest giver in SWTOR that looked just like my character. And it's hard to feel special and unique in a world when there's guys walking around with your face. And with this triangle slider and stuff, it's going to totally eliminate that, because not only is it going to give players a massive amount of customization, but it also gives the devs the opportunity to take the characters and the NPCs in the actual world itself and make them varied and things like that. So it's great all around for so many reasons.
Good stuff. All right, so let's go into our Nick Konkle interview that was on Tuesday. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and let us finish this so we can ruin all the information for you. Then you can go back and see where it came from. All right, let's go into the whole combat thing. So after QuakeCon, a lot of people saw that the combat just didn't seem to have too much weight behind it. And then also from past play tests, people have commented on the fact that it just felt like you were swinging a cardboard sword, I guess.
Yeah, it was a question that had to be asked. Because, I mean, what is the majority of your time spent in these Elder Scrolls games?
Beating
what are you
stuff
doing?
up.
You're killing stuff. So combat's got to be great.
Yeah, so a few things he was talking about that they had added since like the past play tests. Just to add more weight to it, we have obviously camera shake. That's nothing new. But directional strikes is a great thing. So if you strike someone on the right, they will like move their body to the left. So you can tell like which direction you're hitting from. He even said from like above, you'll see them like knocked down or whatever.
Yeah, this was a great thing that Skyrim did extremely well. I mean, you remember beating a dragon's face in with a battle axe, and if you would you'd swing to the left, it would, there was impact there, and you felt it. And it took that floatiness away for sure.
And then there's custom deaths for whichever weapon you're using, whatever kind of damage it does. So if you have like a lightning staff and you kill something with that lightning staff, it has a chance of turning that person into ash, just like in Skyrim.
Just like in Skyrim.
He was saying if you're using a fire weapon, you may see a charred body on the floor after you kill them. Just different things like that. Also, like he said, if you kill someone from hitting them on the right side, you'll see their body fly to the left. So they actually die to the left. So it just adds so much more weight to it.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about, weapon viscosity, which is basically, if you're swinging your weapon like in real life and you cleave someone in the shoulder, you don't expect your sword to just go all the way through like you went through nothing. No, you expect that blade to catch, like in the body, as gross as that sounds. But that's what they're going to be doing here as well. So if you like hit armor with your sword, don't expect your sword to just keep going through. It may go like ching or something, or fly back, something like
That'd
that.
Be cool.
Just
some sparks,
some kind of
coming off
feedback,
of it.
yeah. And he said like that'll be based on the weapon you're using. So if you're using an axe, it may go through more or something like that than like a club would. A club you would expect to kind of more like thud and then maybe bounce off or something like that.
Right.
So that stuff he was talking about as well. So a lot of stuff they are working on just to make sure that it's not floaty.
Yes, I was very glad to hear it, and I definitely hope it pans out. I hope these promises are delivered upon, because I would be looking forward to that a lot from an MMO. It'd be refreshing.
Yeah, I definitely know I'll be going in first person a lot more if I know that's in there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, a very interesting decision on ZeniMax's part was the whole thing with the guild store, and how we heard previously from another Nick Konkle interview that guild stores would be allowed to have non-members go through their store and purchase things. We thought they would be through stores all throughout Tamriel, but apparently it'll only be within Cyrodiil. If a guild captures a keep in Cyrodiil, they will then they will be allowed to put their stuff up for sale for anyone that enters that keep and, accesses the guild store.
Yeah. It's so interesting because, and one of my questions right after the interview for Nick Konkle was the fact that, okay, are you guys putting guild stores in Cyrodiil to push more people towards PvP? And his answer to that was no. We want people to play the way they want to play. We just wanted guild stores to have meeting with your guilds and a reason to capture keeps and things like that. But I don't know. I definitely see, even if it's not intended, that's exactly what this is going to do. I mean, you cannot trade with people unless you go into Cyrodiil.
Well, you cannot trade within guild stores.
Yeah.
Obviously there's still person-to-person transactions anywhere. But
sure.
What you mean, obviously, is guild stores.
Yeah, I'm talking about auction house formats here. Where, which is another thing too. It's not so much of an auction house. No. This is fixed prices.
Right. You can't just say, "Oh, well, will you take this for it?" No, it's a set price. You either buy it or you don't.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. I definitely got more sold on it since he said they were going to be in Cyrodiil, because what it does add to gameplay for a lot of people is this whole idea. People wanted to run guilds out of Cyrodiil and have them protecting just one keep. It's like, okay, my guild Umbra here is only worrying about the protection of this one keep. Now it adds actual value into that by having this guild store in there. So yeah, people can come and trade, and that's a motivation to keep a guild protecting this one keep.
And if you're a smaller guild and you'll probably never capture a keep or something, offer your services to a guild that does have a keep. And say you'll offer protection or help them protect the keep. And maybe they'll allow you, to go into their guild as well, so that way maybe you can sell your wares like you do on the keep, sort of. I don't know.
I will hand it to ZeniMax, because I think the easier thing would have been to just introduce a sort of regional auction house. But they chose to go with this, which introduces a lot more variables and is a lot harder to implement. And if they're going out of their way to do this, they really believe it's going to work. I personally will not believe this thing pans out until I actually really see it in action on the day of launch and the first couple months after launch. I won't be sold into that until that day, because I don't know. I'm really doubtful when it comes to my auction house. I've always loved the way they've worked in past MMOs, and although this has tons of potential for success, it also has tons of potential to fail.
Sure.
I'm sadly to say, but that's just the truth, and I'm on the edge of my seat. I definitely hope it works out.
And also keep in mind, it's not like there's just one campaign of keeps where there's say there's, I don't know, it's just 18 keeps. Let's say there's 18 keeps throughout all of Cyrodiil. That doesn't mean there's only going to be 18 guilds that are going to be able to sell their stuff. Keep in mind that there's several different campaigns, several different versions of Cyrodiil, all with their own keeps that guilds can take over. So there can be hundreds, potentially, of keeps to have guilds take over and have their guild store up there. So if all the keeps are taken and you cannot get a keep or something for your guild, maybe consider switching campaigns. It'll cost alliance points, obviously, but it might be worth it overall. So just keep that in mind. Daedric artifacts. So we learned that some of them will not be obtainable, like Molag's Ball, I believe he said, and some other ones. Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah, he said Molag Bal's Mace was one he mentioned. I think he mentioned two others, but I forget now.
So did he say they weren't in the game at all, or they just wouldn't be obtainable for players?
Be obtainable for players, okay. It sounded like.
But he said Oriel's Bow from Dawnguard would be obtainable.
In from a lore perspective, I think it totally makes sense, because think about it. The Mace of Molag Bal and these Daedra themselves give their weapons, their artifacts to their champions. You know, we could probably see the Mace of Molag Bal in the hands of the main antagonist in the Elder Scrolls Online. You know, his mortal agent here on Tamriel, he would have the Mace of Molag Bal, not the people fighting against him. Why would he give the relic to those trying to, you know, destroy him? And it would make sense that, you know, Oriel's bow, Oriel being Akatosh, it would make sense that us as the players can have Adric artifacts more than Daedra artifacts here in the Elder Scrolls Online.
And I don't think they necessarily have to be unique items. Definitely extremely rare, but who's to say an Adra or Daedra didn't make multiple of this item? Why couldn't they? It's not like they have to be one of a kind items.
Multiple Molag Bal or multiple maces of Molag Bal.
Basically, yeah. If you think about it, it's just a strong mace with a particular enchantment on it.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. Like, okay, yeah, if we can speculate, we could say that the Daedra would do that, but I would hate it if they did that. I wouldn't want like 10 Wabbajaks out there or something like that. These weapons, I've always seen them as unique. They're given to their champions, and that's it. The Daedra don't pass them out like
There's
candy.
only one champion?
At any one time, at least from the past test games we've seen, yeah.
Okay,
and,
but like
and when
throughout
the Daedra,
the history, there's going to be multiple champions.
Yeah, there's multiple champions. What usually happens is the Daedra has them, it finds a new champion and has them kill the previous champion. You know, Boethia loves to do that, especially.
All right. Well, he said there was definitely going to be very rare items out there that only like a few will ever be able to obtain. So that's definitely cool because it's something to strive for. And when you see that person with that item, you're just going to be drooling over it. First, you're not even going to know what the hell it is. But then you're going to be like, oh my god, that thing is so awesome.
Yes, and it's a very important step not to trivialize the game, because if we did see a bunch of people with these artifacts, it would lessen their impact on the world of Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm. Now, we learned how post-launch content is going to come out. It's not going to be like patches in other MMOs where they may add a quest or two or some other dumb rink-a-dink thing and say, hey, there's your new content. No, when they release things, they're going to release them in packs, almost like DLCs, but like you won't pay for them.
Well, you're already paying for them.
Well, yeah, it's included in your fee.
Yeah.
So, but just when I say DLC, don't think that means you're going to have to pay extra for it. It's included. So, yeah, they're going to include like a bunch of content at a time and like support systems that, well, support that content. So think of like the justice system that's going to be coming out. It's going to come out with the Thieves Guild. He actually mentioned pickpocketing. He said the word pickpocketing, which initially we thought was not going to be in the game because they said it would promote an atmosphere that they didn't approve of. But he mentioned pickpocketing.
Now, we don't know if that'll be players, though. If we can actually
probably
pickpocket
not players. Probably NPCs.
I'm thinking NPCs, yeah. I mean, World of Warcraft has that. You can pickpocket in World of Warcraft as a rogue.
That's true, like through a quest, though, yeah. Right.
Oh, not only through quests, just that if you're the rogue class, there was actually a pickpocketing ability, if you remember.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't anything people were like, oh man,
like 2 gold.
I'm gonna play a rogue to pickpocket. No, it was kind of meh.
It was a gimmick.
Yeah, it was.
Where was I at? Lost my train of thought.
Uh-oh. He's broke. Kyle's broke. Steam coming out of his ears. I see it.
He mentioned like distractions, so maybe there's like some kind of distraction system where you can make the guards look the other way, because guards are actively watching for people that will be taking stuff. Now keep in mind, all the justice system stuff we talk about is very much still in development, so anything can change on that. Yeah. He made sure that was clear.
Still in development, and it's gonna definitely come post-launch. This is not something we're gonna see on launch day, sadly.
He was talking a little bit about Imperial City and stuff we might be able to see with that.
Yeah, so according to him, the Imperial City actually in Cyrodiil is not going to be open at launch. I guess it's maybe going to be blocked off by Molag Bal's Daedra or something like that. And then later a patch is going to come out that's going to introduce the Imperial City and all fleshed out.
Yeah, he was talking about like multiple regions within there. There's going to be new gameplay, new siege equipment to play around with, and advances, quote unquote, advances in the PvP system. Not sure what that means, but I'm excited to see what happens there. He said arenas was pretty much still up in the air. If we're like really interested in having arenas in the game, make sure you all voice your opinions in a constructive manner.
Yeah, in a polite manner. That's the last thing you want to do at devs, is just yell at them for information, like, yell at them to add something to the game.
Yeah, don't demand, request.
Yeah, we can do that amongst ourselves, but when you're actually going to a dev with it, I mean, put yourself in their shoes. Would you rather have somebody politely saying, you know, arenas is something I really loved from past Elder Scrolls games, and I think would add a lot to your game, or arenas now, or I won't buy your game.
NAO now.
You know, so, and I'm gonna be one of those people because I think this game absolutely needs an arena in it.
It'd be so
I would
awesome.
love. It just seems like the combat is so tailored to it.
Because there's so many different builds you can make, and like it'd be really hard to know what you're facing.
Exactly. I think it would just be the perfect game for arenas, and it would be really, really sad to see this game without an arena at some point.
Yeah. So go ahead, guys. Hit their Facebooks, their Twitter. Say I would love to have arena because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it would add a whole bunch of. Yeah, a dueling system too, guys. Oh, I want it.
Yeah, for sure.
So someone pisses me off, and I'm like, you know what? Let's take this outside.
You want to take this outside?
And then he kicks my ass.
You big guy.
All right, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see all these different packs coming out with a bunch of new goodies like Dark Brotherhood. Now, horse armor. TV. Apparently only horses at launch. There may be possibilities of other mounts to come afterwards, but he did say that there will be ways to customize your horse, be it different horse breeds, so they'll look differently.
I think the main thing in customizing your horse is going to be, and what has been mentioned before, is what you feed your horse.
Right.
That's really going to define, you know, if he's a fast runner or has a lot of stamina or something like that.
Pack horse.
Or a pack horse. He can carry a lot of items. You know, it's all going to be dependent on if you want to feed him carrots or hay and that sort of thing. So as far as racial mounts, which I've seen other MMOs do extremely well, it's very cool to see other races on their own racial mounts. I mean, why wouldn't we see a Khajiit riding a battle cat? According to all the lore I've read, that's
Seriously.
what they ride into battle on. And it comes down to, at the moment, I guess they just don't have enough time. You know, they have bigger fish to fry at the moment than racial mounts. But I definitely want to see them at some point because I think that'd be really cool.
I totally agree with you. We asked about a bounty system, and apparently there will be one in the game, but not quite as fleshed out as what we would really like, where like we put out bounties on players' heads and someone can take the contract and get paid for it.
Like EVE Online does.
Yeah, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be more like a quest system where you go there, it'll say kill 10 Nightblades or something. And then once you do that, you get a reward for that specifically. Or attack this particular alliance and get a reward for it. So they'll be sort of like that. But then he also mentioned there'd be like revenge kills, which is pretty cool. Those would be immediate things. So
that
like,
excited me more.
Yeah, like if someone killed you and you found that same person, you killed them, you would get some like little reward for that.
I think they do that in like Call of Duty. Isn't there a vengeance thing? You get like a vengeance reward if you come back and kill the same person that killed you.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be cool. We asked him about the whole balancing situation with having an open-ended skill system. And like, wouldn't that be a pain in the ass to have to balance all of that stuff? And he was saying how, well, actually, having the open-ended system really makes balancing pretty easy because they have like flavor of the month build, sort of. It promotes that because if you have like an extremely powerful build that a lot of people are running with, well, then other people are going to come up with a build that counters that one to the point where it's useless. And then you'll see people just switching from builds to builds to builds all the time. So you'll never have just one extremely good build. And if it does happen like that, he says, a couple turns of the knob and there you go, it's gone. Yeah. So we can see that it's going to be a lot easier to balance the builds. Now let's talk about situational skills. He mentioned something called Silver Bolt.
Yeah, Silver Bolt, an ability under the Fighter's Guild that is tailored to slay monsters.
And it's a
kind
crossbow.
Of like Geralt of Rivia would use his silver sword.
So, yeah, there's technically spears in the game, and technically there's a crossbow in the game, even though you don't actually have it as a weapon set. you will pull it out for like a shot or something, or the Adric spear line if you really want to throw spears around.
Yes.
But he also mentioned that they will be releasing other weapon sets post-launch, and they are looking for requests basically for some of your favorite weapon sets. So again, if you want to have any kind of feedback into what ESO releases, go ahead and constructively put in your opinions as to what you would like to see, because they do read like all of it.
I mean, you can see more and more through their actions, and now that Kyle and I have actually had the opportunity to talk with Nick, both in the interview and then after the interview, these guys, they are gamers. I mean, you can feel the passion in their voice when they're talking about their game, and they really mean it when they say they read your feedback and stuff like that. Oh, and I'd like to confirm that Nick Konkle did say, and we can even confirm it with a sound bit, that he does watch the ShoddyCast. So I just want to say that lead gameplay developer watches the ShoddyCast. That's awesome. Hey Nick, how you doing?
Teehee.
But yeah, these guys really do listen to their feedback, and they do listen to their fans, and they've proven that not only by saying it with their words, but by saying it with their actions. You know, and the whole addition of first person, and then the compass into the game and things like that. So if you want to see change in this game, or if there's something that you haven't seen in this game that you definitely want added, it's on you to bring it to the attention of the devs.
Yep.
And rally to the cause, you know, rally some people to your cause.
Now, saved best for last, but Nick did kind of confirm that we were in a AVA beta test.
Yes,
So,
it's out of the we are out of the closet,
yes,
officially.
We have been doing some beta testing.
We've been outed.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. And you may have been hearing the whole reference, remember the Chalamo. And we just wanted to give a little bit of context. We didn't want to give any like new information out on that because, you know, it's very much under NDA. But we just wanted to give a little more context into what is Remember the Chalamo. What are these people talking about when they're saying this?
Just remember the Alamo, but Elder Scrolls Online style.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. And it was in a beta AVA test.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was in that AVA test, and, you know, there was 9 guys just holding this keep, because we know that in order to crown a emperor, you need to hold the inside keeps, like the inside of Cyrodiil. There's keeps all around the gold tower. We know this. And in order to crown that emperor, you have to make sure your alliance maintains all those keeps.
Yes.
Well, there was one keep that was not held by that alliance, and that was because me and Josh,
the Chalamo,
and the other 7 people were there defending that keep, and we were the only ones there because no one else was helping us out, and I wanted to kick them in the teeth. But anyways.
And Chalamo, you know who you are. You're listening. I know it. I know it. My brother's in arms.
So yeah, there was 9 of us there in this keep, very well organized, thanks to a certain person. Thank you, person.
Yeah, who sadly has to remain unnamed.
Yes. We were defending this one keep over waves upon waves of like 30 plus people.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to take away from this and this experience, now that we can actually talk about it ever so slightly because Nick brought it up, is that strategy in this game, and this is something that we've been stressing from the moment, you know, we knew that the Elder Scrolls Online is really stressing their PvE or PvP gameplay, is this whole idea that strategy should trump numbers any day of the week. You know, that's what defines the great PvP experience from the mediocre PvP experience. It's not only the guy with the numbers, but it's the guy who knows how to work the system. And the Chalamo proved that in the AVA beta test. So we can say we have experienced that firsthand, and if that was one of your worries for the Elder Scrolls Online, it should be removed right now.
Yeah, just take it from us, PvP is awesome.
Yes, and extremely rewarding.
So keep that in mind and have fun with it. And that is it for the news for this week. So let us go into the developer question of last week with our favorite person, the lore master
himself,
Lawrence S. Schick.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Schick. I'm the lead lore master at ZeniMax Online Studios for the Elder Scrolls Online. And here's my question. Suppose you were granted, once, the ability to read an Elder Scroll and understand what you read in it. But it's risky. You could permanently damage your vision or your sanity. Do you do so? And if you do, what do you hope to learn?
You know, there was a lot of people that thought we were gonna get Lawrence Schick for our interview.
Oh God, I wish.
Yeah, I actually hope that. No, it couldn't happen because we would just listen to his voice and be so distracted we couldn't continue forward with the interview.
I would do a Wayne's World "We're Not Worthy" over and over again.
I would write a bunch of fan fiction for him to read. I wouldn't want to.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Is this good? No, he would come on and say that our lore series is crap.
Oh, and then he crushes my spirit. All right, so the question, if you had the opportunity to read an Elder Scroll, which is extremely dangerous, it can not only remove your vision, but also remove your sanity, would you do it? And if you would do it, what would you hope to learn?
The release date for ESO.
So you would read
in-game?
it? So
I would totally read it. I don't care.
Oh, gosh.
You go through all this just to get the Elder Scroll, and it always seems to work out for you in the game, so why wouldn't I read it?
I don't know. I guess I'm putting it in real life perspective. If there was actually a document I could read that would give me a glimpse into the future or some insight about the past, the secrets of Nirn.
What if you're a moth priest? They didn't say you weren't.
Moth priests still get blinded like
Oh, do
everyone
they? I
else.
thought they like train or
Yeah,
something.
they do train, and it takes them longer to lose their vision, and so they do fare better than most. But
Let's say I have moth priest training, and I read it, and what would I? Okay, honestly, what would I want to learn?
okay, first of all, I wouldn't read it.
Okay.
But if there was a
You would
chance,
sell it, you little black
I would sell it.
traitor.
Yeah. No, I would deliver it to my queen. For the queen! No, but seriously, I would not read it. But if I did read it, I would want to learn about the Dwemer. And
That is
'cause, I mean, they're the
true,
biggest
yeah.
mystery. So what happened to them? That's what I would want to read about.
Or what came first, the Ellen of Fae or the Hist?
Yeah.
Don, because I say it's the Hist. That's open for debate. But anyways, let's not go too far into lore and sound like nerds. Yeah, so would you
Please,
read it?
please.
And what would you want to figure out? Let us know in the comments below. Let's go into our community segment, starting off with questions from the Shoddance. Our first question is from Isaac.
Hey ShoddyCast. In most MMOs that I've played, you start out the game, and the game gives you a quest. Once you finish that quest, the game gives you another quest to follow that up. And after that, it gives you another quest. These quest chains usually just keep going on. And most of the time, you can get from level 1 to end game from just following these small quest chains. And that's what I usually end up doing, because I don't know of anywhere else to go. It's never been this way in an Elder Scrolls game. So will it be like this in ESO? Anyway, thanks for listening. Keep up the good work.
Isn't that what a game is? It's just quest chains?
It's quest chains, and then there's just side quests, standalone quests.
Which are usually quest chains.
Well, there can just be standalone, like, one objective, you completed, this quest is finished. Like, there's a ton of those in the Elder Scrolls and RPGs
There's
in
probably
general.
those in MMOs as well.
Yeah, and there's those in MMOs as well.
I just don't understand, like, what else do you expect there to be? I mean, there's going to be organic quests out there to do. I mean, you'll get distracted. You'll be doing your quest line, and then you'll see, oh, look, another quest giver. Might as well get that quest as well, and then see what they have to do. Or you may just run along something that activates another quest for you to do. Do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, nothing to add.
Okay. Next one is from Ricardo.
Hey there, ShoddyCast. Wanted to, first of all, congratulate you on the great work with the lore series. Big fan of it. And, well, I have two questions for you that I would like to ask you. First of all, I'm very into the werewolf perks and all the story behind it. I'd like to ask you, do you think that maybe we'll see other types of these bloods in ESO? And, well, maybe if you think they will be linked to a type of relics specifically, for example, the were lions to the Khajiit or the were crocodiles to the Argonians. Thanks for your work and keep up the good work.
So, I think we've answered this question before, but something he brought up that was interesting was that there would be race-specific were-creatures maybe we can do. So if like you're a Khajiit and you contract a lycanthropy or whatever you want to call it, would you become a like were-lion or something? Or if you are an Argonian, would you turn into a were-crocodile or something like that? I think that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like you should be able to maybe choose which way you want to morph, and maybe that would be an interesting idea for ZeniMax to consider. So like because we know there's going to be a quest or a skill line for the werewolf, maybe you can, when you morph your abilities in that, maybe that will then make you warp into a different creature or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the sound of that is very, very cool. What I think is most likely to happen, though, is, I call back to an example from World of Warcraft. You know, you had the Druid class, and you could play different races as a Druid. But the Night Elf Druid, for example, would turn into a cat and look different, right? They would have like the features of a night elf. Their ears would be pointed and long as this cat form. And where the other race, like the Taurens, they would turn into this cat, but it would be a lot more beast-like. It would have horns because the Taurens have horns and stuff like that. So, I mean, just apply that to the Elder Scrolls Online. If you have a werewolf that's a Khajiit, maybe it looks a lot more like a feline than it would a dog. Where an Argonian would maybe have more reptilian features to its werewolf equivalent. But I could see it taking that aesthetic approach to it more than maybe special skill lines.
All right, cool. So just consider that, ZeniMax, because it would add some extra flavor, extra spice.
They love adding skill lines, so I'm sure they'll do it.
All right, and that is it for the questions of the week. If you would like to submit your questions, go ahead and submit it audio form to mailbox@ShoddyCast.com. Now let's go into the sponsors for the week. All right, first one here is Mark Dixon.
Hermaeus Mora.
Very nice. And, okay, I'm going to butcher so many names, so sorry, but there's a lot of them I can't even pronounce. Jasmina Kentelis?
Sure. Thank you.
Sounds like something from Mass Effect. Good job. Pim Galen.
Thank you.
This is so bad. Stefan Pazevic. Sounds good. Now this one, come on now. You got a slash in your O? What is that mean?
What? There's slashes and O's?
You're going. Is it like a sound? Does that do a I don't know. But thank you. That's a new donor, by the way. Alex Otello.
Alex, the Greybeards have called you to High Hrothgar. You, sir, are Dragonborn.
Congratulations. He's been donating for a while, so good job on getting the Dragonborn status.
Yes, the much coveted Dragonborn. Only few could ever rise to.
All right, a bunch of new donors here. We got Theo Vassmer, Donner Smith, Kristen McMullen, and it's either Mitchell or Michelle Pierre. So thank you for all those donations. Then we have Justin Sudicum.
Dragonborn.
Don't start doing those
Dragonborn.
Joaquin Avalon. Thank you. New donor here. I'm just going to say it's Lucas, even though it's got like a Z and a slash in the L. Lucas Motwicki. Thank you. Hey, look, it's Los Pollos Hermanos over here. Gustav Brendal.
Greetings, Gus. You got some goods for me? Oh, excellent, excellent. That's the blue stuff. I like that.
All right. Jacob Best here wants Josh to say something that is not coming out of his mouth in particular.
Oh, good lord. Okay. I don't want to be their puppet. I feel dirty doing this. Hi, my name is Josh. I plan on betraying the Dominion for the Ebonheart Pact. The Queen shall be tortured, slaughtered, and something more inappropriate to her barely breathing corpse. I shall target my darling brother Kyle more than anyone else. And of course, death to the No, I won't do it. I refuse. Long live the queen. Long live the queen.
Wow. All right, next donation
Bastard,
is from
I'm going to wash my mouth out with soap.
Martin Hirschner. Check out his Daggerfall Covenant Guild, turnmailtradingcompany.com.
Dragonborn.
That too. Michael Anderson Peterson.
Dragonborn.
Man, there's a lot of Dragonborns. Do you know or have you heard anything about a Elder Scrolls Online Collector's Edition? Will there be one at all? Do you know anything about it? No, we don't. That's usually stuff they don't announce until pretty close to the game actually coming out. They say, oh, by the way, there's a Collector's Edition. You can get this virtual item crap. So have fun with that, and then maybe a figurine or something.
Yeah, I would like more tangible stuff than the,
yeah,
an art book.
They probably will. No, most games do. All right. Next donation from Samaya Abdullahi. No, I'm not doing no dang tongue twisters. I ain't your performing monkey.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
All right, Sally, who sold seashells by the seashore. There you go. James Deanna. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly.
James, you have been summoned by the Greybeards to High Hrothgar. You are no longer a mere mortal. No, you are born with the soul of a dragon, making you Dragonborn.
So cutting out those j.
No, you're not. You're leaving them in, and you know it.
And he says, I think the Elder Scrolls lore series is the best presentation / treatment I've seen of that lore.
Shucks.
Bring on book 2, and I can hardly wait to see the Fallout series. The Fallout T's voiceover didn't sound like Ron Perlman. Who you got?
Oh, shucks, you sure know how to talk to a lady there, James. That is Jason. He's a professional voice actor. Yes, professional. And no, he is not Ron Perlman, but he's the next best thing.
Teehee. And new donor here, Robert Fisher. He says, oh God, am I supposed to... Oh, another one of these. All right, hi Kyle, and...
Josh?
Do hereby swear for all of the Shodians to hear and to witness that Robert Fisher will be one of the 300 founding ShoddyCast guild members. To him we swear our loyalty as a guild brother and will stand with him as we fight.
For the Queen!
And that is the donations for the week. If you would like to become a donor for the ShoddyCast channel, head over to ShoddyCast.com and you will see a donation button on the right-hand side. Donate $10 or more and you can leave a promotion for us to butcher through the following week.
Yes, any and all donations go right back into the ShoddyCast, not into our pockets. So thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. We really do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our episode. Yes, may the tears ensue. You have been watching ESO Weekly on the ShoddyCast channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in on Wednesday. Again, ESO Weekly has a new time slot on Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like and share this video with everyone you know. I have been Josh.
And I'm Kyle.
We'll catch you later.
Boy.